Alrighty, hello, hello, hello. How are we doing tonight? Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. It's great to be here. Hope you all have a wonderful evening. So we are going to be playing some more Phoenix Wright Ace Attorney today. Here, let me just get a music credit up. I'm unmuted, right? Yeah, I'm unmuted. Oh, perfect. Up in chat, so I don't get in legal trouble. And with that, yeah, let's get started. So let me switch on over to my game screen. Oh, here, also, let me pause the music. Pause the music. There we go. Let's get to the game screen. Hello! Alright, so we're actually going to try to beat this game this time. So, with that having been said, yeah, we tried beating it the other day, but I think I've still got some more of the post-game to go. I want to beat this whole game so then we can start with the next game. Get into some Phoenix Wright. Shoot, what's the next one? Phoenix Wright Justice for All. Yeah, it'll be lots of fun. Yeah, and with that having been said, if you enjoy the content, please be sure to give the channel a follow. I'm trying to grow the community. Every single follow helps. If you want to keep up with the channel, get in touch with news. Yeah, be sure to follow me on Twitter and to join the Discord. You want to join in the discussion. If you let me think. Anything else? I was going to say, yeah. Also, if you want to lurk and just watch the stream, that's perfectly great. If you also want to drop a message in chat and start talking to me, that's great too. I'm open for chatting. I think that's everything. So with that having been said, let's get started. Alright, we're going to continue. Alright, Day 3 Investigation. February 24th, 3:12 p.m. Wright and Company Law Offices. I'm so sorry, Mr. Wright. I'm sorry for what my sister said. Drastic crimes require drastic measures. That's just the way it is. We did what we had to in order for him to get the verdict he deserved. I didn't know. I never knew that the SL9 incident was just another name for the Joe Dark killings. Sounds like everyone's heard about these killings but me. Lana wanted Dark convicted so badly. That's why she used me. That's why she used what happened to me. What do you mean, what happened to you? Here, I'm going to turn the desktop audio down just a little bit. There we go. That should be better. It's all there in the file. Joe Dark's last victim was Prosecutor Neil Marshall. When he murdered Officer Marshall's brother, he left behind an incriminating piece of evidence. But what did you have to do with those killings, Emma? On the night Prosecutor Neil Marshall was murdered, Joe Dark tried to kill me. What? He tried to kill you? Officer Marshall's brother, Neil, was only trying to save me. So that means you... Yes. I was a witness in the Joe Dark trial. I saw that in the evidence the other day. I didn't see that one coming. Okay, let's talk about this SL9 incident. It happened 2 years ago. It was right about this time of the year, too. There was a terrible thunderstorm that day. Unusual for the season. I was alone in my sister's office. We were planning to eat dinner together once she finished her work. Then suddenly, this terrifying man came bursting into the office. Joe Dark. It seemed like he was running from someone. He pulled out a knife and screamed at me. I didn't know what was going on. Just then, Prosecutor Marshall showed up. Jake Marshall's brother. Joe Dark tried to take me hostage, but before he could, Mr. Marshall tackled him. Then, what happened? I'll never forget it. Lightning struck, and the lights went out. Suddenly, a bolt of lightning flashed outside the window, lighting up the office for an instant. What I saw then burned a permanent picture in my mind. I can still see it now. A permanent picture. Okay, what did you see in the instant that crime occurred? Dark knocked down Mr. Marshall and raised his knife. Neil Marshall was stabbed right in front of this poor girl. I don't remember what happened after that. Apparently I passed out. When I came to, Lana was cradling me in her arms. Poor Emma, you've been through so much. I couldn't bring myself to testify about that instant. I tried, but the words just wouldn't come out. I drew a picture, but it wasn't any good. Two years ago. You must have been 14. That's understandable. Once it was all over, I made up my mind. I decided that when I grew up, I'd become a scientific investigator. I want to be able to fight crime with my testimonies and find the evidence to make an airtight case. That way, Lana would never have to forge any. Oh, so she knew. I see. I think I'm finally starting to understand what makes Emma tick. But there's still something that bothers me about that crime. I don't remember the moment when Dark stabbed Mr. Marshall. So you weren't able to testify about that? No, I was only asked about when I was attacked. That must be why she made up the crime. Made it up? You mean provided bogus evidence? The prosecutor's office wanted that guilty verdict so badly. Lana forged the evidence, and Mr. Edgeworth used it. Edgeworth? Yes, but I'm sure he didn't know anything about it. He couldn't have known he was being given false evidence. Even so, that's when it all started. The rumors about Mr. Edgeworth, I mean. It's all my fault. If I could have just testified properly, none of this would have happened. It's so true, even though he may not have known it. Edgeworth really was involved in falsifying evidence. After that case ended, Lana was never the same. She became cold, like she is today. She must not have been able to face up to what she did, especially not to Emma. Alright, so let's get into the something puzzling. There's something that's puzzling me, Emma. What is it? You said you were in Lana's office at that time, right? That's right. Why then would a serial killer come running in there? Not only that, but was he being chased by a prosecutor? Oh, there's no mystery there. Joe Dark had been taken in for questioning that day. Taken in for questioning? You mean by the police? Of course. This happened at the police department. He tried to run away halfway through the interview and fled into my sister's office. But why did he run all the way over to your sister's office? Because the detective's offices in the questioning room are right across from the elevator. Across from the elevator? But Lana was the chief prosecutor, wasn't she? No, silly. Didn't I tell you? 2 years ago, Lana was a detective. She was the best in the entire force. What? That's news to me. After the Joe Dark case, she was transferred to the prosecutor's office and made chief prosecutor. Lana used to be a detective? I'd better have another talk with her. Okay. Okay, so... gotta have another talk with her? Makes sense to be at the detention center. February 24th, detention center visitor's room. Lana. Mr. Wright, it seems I keep causing you trouble. Falsifying evidence? I didn't think you were the type. Criminals don't mind playing foul. Why should we? But Lana, if you're wrong, an innocent person might be found guilty. Believe me, I understand the risks. Lana, Emma told me about you. Oh? About how you were a detective 2 years ago? And how the SL9 incident was the reason for your transfer to the prosecutor's office? That's right. Could you fill me in on the details? Especially about that unusual change of jobs? I suppose you have a right to know, Mr. Wright. Okay, well, let's talk about it. A lot of revelations were uncovered at the trial today, not the least of which was the fact that this case is largely connected to another one 2 years ago. Evidence from that case was stolen as well, though I expected as much. I know how obsessive Officer Marshall can be. That trial, it really wasn't fair, was it? I believed in you, Lana. I believed that no matter what happened, you'd always stick to the truth. It couldn't be helped, Emma. At that trial 2 years ago, I sold my soul. Well, all drama aside, the fact of the matter is, at 5:15, there was no murder at the police department. Tell me it's not true, Lana, what the witness, Miss Starr, said. About you stabbing Mr. Goodman with a knife. Lana, I don't understand. Why won't you tell us? Emma, this doesn't involve just me. I don't think I've ever seen Lana look so fazed before. Okay. It's true, I was a member of the police force 2 years ago. She was amazing. They still talk about all the cases she and Chief Gant cracked together. Chief Gant? He was the deputy chief of police back then, but he still worked the crime scenes. Damon Gant. He was everything I aspired to be. They were the best team ever. They solved crimes before the reports could even be filled. Emma really idolizes her big sister. But now you're chief prosecutor. What happened? I always planned on becoming prosecutor. The reason I became a detective was to gain experience investigating crime scenes, so you could use that experience in court, right? Gant's help in the SL9 case was crucial to its resolution. After that, he became chief of police and arranged my transfer to the prosecutor's office. Maybe I should ask more about this investigation of theirs 2 years ago. 2 years ago, I was second in command of the detectives investigating Dark. Second in command? That means the investigation lead was Damon Gant, right? Yes, Deputy Chief Gant and I shared the same office and the same investigations. They even had the same office? We led a team of the best detectives on the force. Detective Goodman, whose case it was, Jake Marshall, and Angel Starr. It was the first time Marshall worked with his brother. He was quite gung-ho. Without a doubt, Joe Dark was a serial killer. We asked him to come in for questioning. We were desperate for evidence. That was when his final murder took place. When he tried to murder Emma. Prosecutor Marshall was trying to save me from Dark. You see, the first person who happened upon the scene of the crime was me. Now you tell us. Damon Gant and Neil Marshall were the ones questioning Dark that day. In the investigation was in its final stages, and Dark must have suddenly panicked. So he waited until Gant and Marshall let their guards down, then fled the room. From there, he ran straight to the office shared by Deputy Chief Gant and myself. That's where he found me. So you were the first person to run to the scene, Lana? It appears so. I was filing some papers while Gant and Marshall were questioning Dark. When I returned to my office, I saw 3 bodies on the floor and smelled blood. 3 bodies? Prosecutor Marshall, the victim, Emma, who had passed out, and the suspect, Joe Dark. During the struggle, it seemed Mr. Marshall had struck a final blow before he died. Joe Dark had incurred a minor concussion and laid unconscious. What did you do? To be honest, I panicked. I picked up Emma, carried her out of the room, and just held her. Can't blame her. After all, her sister must have gone through. After that, I placed Dark under immediate arrest. Let me get this straight. You were all involved in the SL9 incident? That's right. Quite a coincidence, I don't buy it. Well, what are you saying? There's no way everyone involved in this trial was also involved in that incident just by chance. But that case was solved 2 years ago. At least one person went to extremes because they didn't believe it was truly solved. Officer Marshall, yes. His actions came as a surprise to me as well. Ever since his brother died, he's changed completely. I guess he wasn't convinced with the ruling against Joe Dark. Life doesn't end with the closing of a case. Everyone has to live the rest of their lives with their memories. That case just might not be over yet. Emma was insulted by Dark at the police department, right? Yes, in the office that Damon Gant and I shared. The office that Mr. Gant now occupies by himself. The Chief's office. Maybe we should have a look at the Chief's office. The site of the final SL9 murder. Okay, let's go. So, criminal affairs? February 24th, police station, criminal affairs department. I don't see Detective Gumshoe anywhere. Things seem kind of quiet around here today. You're right. Chief of Detectives seems the same, though. Why don't we go look for some other people to talk to? Right. We can come back here later. Okay, move. Okay, there we go. The entrance. Howdy, Bambina. Oh, Mr. Marshall. Never thought things turned out this way when I woke up this morning. Que sera, sera. You never know where life will lead you, eh, Bambina? Should've known my luck had run out when old Billy dried up this morning. Billy? Must be his pet cactus. Say, where are you headed? Just over to the prosecutor's office for a little interrogation. It's a voluntary appearance, but we all know I won't be coming back. Sorry, but you can't go into the evidence room today, partner. But Mr. Marshall, why did you do it? Why do prospectors head west? If ever there was a case I needed to know the truth about, it was that one. Before you turn yourself in, Mr. Marshall, would you mind telling us exactly what happened? Looks like I won't be getting to steak lunch today. Okay. Something was fishy about that trial from the beginning. It wasn't just me either. All the detectives thought so. What do you mean, fishy? Some of the facts reported were inconsistent with the evidence we found. For example, the murder weapon. The murder weapon? You mean that switchblade knife with the broken tip? That was Joe Dark's, all right. But in the initial autopsy report, a question was raised. A question? The blade of the knife was not a perfect match with the wound the victim sustained. What does that mean? It means there's a good chance that knife was not the murder weapon. However, in the report that was finally submitted, that possibility had been erased. Could the facts have been concealed with forged evidence? That case left behind scars on all of us. The scars that the SL9 incident left behind. Okay. There was something going on behind the scenes in that case. We all knew that later. Every detective involved in that investigation, save one, was taken care of. Miss Starr was fired, and I was demoted and boxed away in a tiny room What about Detective Goodman? If they did something to him too, the commissioners would get suspicious. No, they were careful enough not to be too obvious. They? Who are you talking about? Don't get upset, Bambina. I mean Damon Gant and Lana Skye. The investigation lead, Damon Gant, and his second-in-command, Lana Skye. There wasn't a person on the force who hadn't heard of that duo. That case was the biggest step in both of their careers. After the case ended, Lana transferred to the after that case ended, Lana transferred to the prosecutor's office, right? Yeah. Damon Gant, the new chief of police, arranged for that to happen. She's never been the same since she left. Everyone who knew her said so. Chief Prosecutor Skye was totally different when she was a detective. Now that he mentions it, Emma said something like that too. Tell me, what happened to my sister? Sorry, Bambina, but her secret is too well guarded. I never found out. Lana's secret. It all started 2 years ago. Alright. Let's go up to Prosecutor Marshall. Got the looks, but he got the brains. He was one of the best prosecutors around. I had just made detective when it went down. It was our first case together. How old was he? Your brother? He was 27 at the time. He was awarded the highest honor that very day. The highest honor? You mean the King of Prosecutors. I knew it. What are you looking at me like that for? That's an honor for a prosecutor. Mr. Marshall must have really been close with his brother. The day the SL9 incident took place, that wasn't the same day as... That's right. It was the day of the evidence transfer. Interesting. It was drizzling that morning, and by nightfall there was thunder. I can't believe 2 years have gone by already. I tried to steal the evidence so the case wouldn't die. Apparently someone tried to stop you. Detective Goodman was murdered, and the evidence locker was empty. So there you have it. That's my story. Did you enjoy it, partner? It was certainly enlightening. There's one thing for sure I found out in court today. That boy Edgeworth isn't my enemy. You was the one who used the falsified evidence to get a guilty verdict. But someone else was the one who gave him that evidence and planned everything. That someone is Damon Gant. Don't believe me? Well, I don't blame you. I won't even be a patrolman after today. Too bad I won't be around to work with you when you become a real scientific investigator. Adios, Bambina. Alright, well that was, so do we go inside now? I suppose we do. I need to change one thing quick. Bup, 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 bup. Alrighty, sorry about that. I am back. This place is always pretty empty, but today it's deserted. That must mean everyone's busy solving crimes. Oh, if you're looking for the others, they're all in the conference room. Thanks. Oh wait, that's the police chief. Wow, he actually talked to us. With the chief prosecutor saying what she did and the decision about what to do about Mr. Edgeworth. Not to mention this mention our statement to the media in tomorrow's trial. There's more chaos going on than Thanksgiving and Christmas put together. I think festive is the word usually used for those. Sir, we'd like to have a look around Chief Gant's office. Just use the connecting hallway to the other building and take the elevator to the top floor. Really? You mean it's okay for us to go in there? I mean, we aren't police officers or anything. Hey, you're right, you can't go in there, it's off limits. Now I see where Detective Gumshoe gets his unique charm. Well, what are we waiting for? Let's head to the Chief's office. Alright, move. Chief's office, let's go. He has a organ? That's huge. This looks like a church organ. Whoa, where am I? This honestly looks like a cathedral. In the chief's office, silly. At least that's what's said on the door. Check out that pipe organ. That's real, isn't it? Hey, I used to take organ lessons in kindergarten. They used to call me Little Miss Bach. I thought I was a genius until they tried teaching me notes. I could never remember where C was. Oh. Oh, it's you two. Chief Gant! He put that paper he was reading in his desk. So, righto. Have you been swimming lately? No, I haven't. I've been kind of busy lately. I can appreciate that. I've had my hands full too with Mr. Marshall's misconduct and Lana's provocative statement. Provocative statement? Oh, you mean about the forged evidence? 2 years have passed since that incident. My, how time flies. See that big picture on the wall over there? That's a picture of Lana, Neil, and me. So this is Mr. Marshall's brother, Prosecutor Neil Marshall. We took it to commemorate our work together. Something's not right with this picture. Oh, wait. Yeah, this is it. This is the vase in that picture. You see that, right? Like, right in the background there. Let me see if I can move my mouse. Yeah, right here. That's gotta be... That's the exact same vase. I can't quite seem to put my finger on it, though. Gant team picture added to the court record. Anyway, I'd like to reminisce all day, but there are matters that need my attention. I'm going to lock up here, so let's go out together. Oh, but this office, it was a crime scene 2 years ago, wasn't it? That case has long since been over. There's no need to investigate it anymore. All the same, we'd still like to have a look around. Perhaps you didn't hear me. I said there's no need to investigate it anymore. Now hurry up and get out. I have a meeting to attend. Looks like we aren't welcome. Seems that case isn't over with yet after all. What do you mean? Chief Gant denied a request to search the crime scene. That means there must be a reason he didn't want us looking around in there. You mean like a clue? There's gotta be a way we can get inside the chief's office. Examine. Blue Badger, still writhing around today. Let's give him the benefit of the doubt and say he's dancing. Writhing, that's funny. Speaking of dancing, the whole police department has been dancing about like crazy since the other day. Can I take out his batteries? I just can't help but feel he's going to do something naughty. Oh. Look at that patrolman is saluting the other guy. He must be a detective. So I cuffed the lout right And you know what he says? What are you, a moron? I'm an undercover agent. Oh man, I hate it when that happens. Guess he wasn't saluting, he was just listening to how his friend messed up. They make a good pair. Let's try this. Detectives in there look pretty busy. Wait, okay. Right, move. Where can we move to? Yeah, okay, moving inside seems like a good option. Hey, pal. Detective Gumshoe, aren't you supposed to be in a meeting? I'm, just taking a breather. My feet hurt. From sitting so long? Actually, from serving everyone coffee. Sounds like Detective Gumshoe's still out of the loop. Say, have either of you seen Mr. Edgeworth? Edgeworth? No. Why do you ask? He's under fire from both the police department and the prosecutor's office. It's almost like the battles between you two in court. That sounds serious. Is it because of what my sister said? And that's basically what it all boils down to. That falsified evidence 2 years ago. Now Mr. Edgeworth has the whole world after his blood. Yikes. Okay. Let's talk to Gumshoe. But why would Edgeworth be blamed? It's not like he knew the evidence was forged. Lana Skye is the guilty party here, isn't she? Regardless, a prosecutor is responsible for the evidence they present in court. Not only that, but as you know, there have been a lot of rumors going around about Mr. Edgeworth. His amazing talent as a prosecutor kept him safe from those who didn't like him. But now with this, are there really so many people who hate him? In our world... One second, I gotta get the voice right. In our world, only those with talent rise to the top. Mr. Edgeworth only has that, but he's young. There's no better recipe I know for making enemies. Hey, Dick, keep up the good work. Yes, sir. Let's go out for lunch again sometime. My treat. Yes, sir. You gotta take me back to that joint sometime, okay, Dick? Yes, sir. Seems you don't have any problems with enemies. Yeah, well, I'm careful not to stick out. Anyways, I'm a bit worried about him. Under all this pressure, I'm afraid Mr. Edgeworth just might crack. Oh, dang. Actually, I took a look at the file earlier, while the coffee was brewing. He seems genuinely concerned for Edgeworth. Well, did you find anything? The only evidence Doc left behind was during his final attack. His final attack? You mean... And he killed Prosecutor Marshall, who was trying to protect some girl. Me. Seems Detective Gumshoe never realized Emma was the girl. That's when he left the most incriminating evidence of all. Well, what was it? Oh, let's see. Think it had something to do with the murder weapon? Oh, I forget. Look, it's all written somewhere in here, okay? His powers of recollection never fail to impress. Maybe we should show him the murder weapon. Might jog his memory. Okay, murder weapon. Oh wait, we have to go to... So we go back. Get back, present. About this. Hey, is that? There's a tag attached to it with the label SL9 incident on it. I believe this would be the broken murder weapon you were speaking of? What are you doing with that? Ever since that case was closed, that knife's been locked away in a locker. The day Detective Goodman was murdered, it suddenly disappeared from that locker. It was found in Mr. Edgeworth's car muffler. That's it! Now I remember what that incriminating piece of evidence was. When you showed me that knife, it all came back to me. Well, what is it, Detective? Quick, before you forget again. Okay. Talk. Okay, murder weapon. This knife, it was Joe Dark's, wasn't it? That's right. We traced it back to the store he bought it at. Plus, it had his fingerprints on it, too. But no one actually witnessed him using it to murder anyone, right? That's where his luck ran out. When you take a good look at the knife, you see it's broken. You don't have to take a good look to notice that. Yeah, well, anyway, take a guess where that broken off tip of the knife was found. That's what did him in. Where was it? The victim, near Marshall, was carrying it inside his own body. It was found deep inside the stab wound. Did it match Dark's knife? You bet, down to the last fiber. That's pretty conclusive. Broken tip was found in the victim's body, belonged to murderer Joe Dark. Got it. Alright, let's ask about Dark's crimes. Joe Dark was 42 at the time of the crime. He was just your run-of-the-mill businessman. A businessman? What made him take to serial killing? One day on his way home from work, he hit someone with his car. With his car? So it was an accident? An accident, yes, but transformed him into an animal. An animal? He killed the man that witnessed the incident. Then he killed the lady who saw the second crime. A kid walked by just then, so he killed them too. Then he was off burying bodies. A jogger came along the scene and he was killed as well. Finally, he turned himself in. Seems like he was a pretty careless animal. Of course, this is all conjecture. There wasn't a single shred of evidence. So he turned himself in? Yes, but in the middle of his questioning, he fled and murdered his final victim, Prosecutor Marshall. That crime was witnessed by someone too, but luckily Doc was arrested on the spot. It was a good thing that last witness wasn't killed. That last witness, aka Emma, well, there you have it in a nutshell. That's all I know. Can I ask you one more thing? What is it? If it's money you need, you should ask Chief Gant. It's not money, but it does concern the chief. His office is a crime scene, right? It's where Prosecutor Neil Marshall was murdered. The chief's out now and his office is locked. But we'd like to have a look around if that's okay. Well, any detective's ID card can unlock the door. What? Really? But if I let a civilian in there, I'd be charged with breach of trust. Breach of trust? Simply put, I'd be canned. Oh, sorry, pal. I don't plan on getting fired because of you. How about this ID card? It was Detective Goodman's. That won't work either. The data was deleted the file. Oh, it was deleted the day he died. Oh. So in other words, Gumshoe is our only chance of getting into that office. I wonder if there's something we could show him that would make him change his mind. Present? Try this. Okay, I need something to change his mind. Hey, that's it! That's the King of Prosecutors Award that Mr. Edgeworth got the other day. Were you at the awards ceremony, Detective Gumshoe? Of course, pal. I won an award for diligence myself. Ah, congratulations. I was wondering, why is the award a shield? And why is it broken? Oh, there's a reason. I'll tell you what it is later. Apparently he's forgotten. Okay, that didn't work. Do I show him this? He'll mention. Okay. That's funny. Okay, seem to indicate there's something I should show him, but I honestly don't know what it is. Present this? Okay, I'm not sure. Okay. Show. Okay, do I show him this? Luminol, ID cards, fingerprinting set, screwdriver. Oh, maybe this. Okay, I was hoping we could drop it off at his office. Found this jaw. I think I've seen it somewhere. Somewhere? Well, maybe it's one of those memories people have from previous lives. This must be the most uninformative detective I've ever met. Something about it makes me feel uneasy. Like I'm in the chief's office, and he's yelling at me. Chief Gant? Where could I have seen that before? Yeah, that's where it is. Dang it. I don't know what to show him. Okay, I've already shown him these. Okay, I'm literally gonna work through the evidence one by one. Okay. Okay, cool. Okay, victim shoe. Okay, I'm just working one by one through the pieces of evidence. Okay, wait, so he's gonna remember. Here, luminol testing spray. Is there anything else? No, nothing else I can talk about. Present. Add 3 inches to your base height. Oh, poor guy. There's only one number left to investigate at 4:20 p.m. The victim, Detective Goodman, must have entered the evidence room along with someone else. Someone with an executive officer number. That's 17 too many, Detective. Executive officer. Alright, try screwdriver. Alright, okay. That. Okay, you know what? I don't think this is helping me out any. Let me just check the detention center. Anything new? Nope. Alright, move. Move. Okay, let's go to the underground parking lot. No one's here today, not even Miss Star. Everyone's probably busy looking into what exactly went down in the evidence room. That must be where the detectives are. But we proved in court today that on the day of the crime, no one was murdered in the evidence room at 5:15 p.m. Yeah, I thought we were finally making some headway in our case. But instead, it looks like we just ended up making Lana look even more guilty. Hang in there, Lana. Gotta find all the answers by tomorrow. Alright, Alright, move. Edgeworth's office. Wonder if Edgeworth is back yet. There he is. It looks like he's writing something. Whoa, what are you doing here? He sure was quick to throw that paper on the floor. Tough day in court, huh? I've had to live the past 2 years with rumors flying around. What's another allegation to me? Cheer up, Mr. Edgeworth. I'm rooting for you. That's Edgeworth for you. Always trying to hide his real feelings. So what do you want? Unlike some people, I don't have all day. Talk. There's no excuse for what I've done. 2 years ago, I used false evidence to obtain a guilty verdict. That's what it all breaks down to, and nothing I do can erase that fact. But you didn't know, did you? I mean, that the evidence was falsified? The police department and the prosecutor's office share a bond of trust. That bond is broken, we stand to lose everything. The police department's error is my error, my responsibility as the prosecutor in charge. That fact remains the same no matter what excuses I may have. Mr. Edgeworth, I take pride in my work, so tell me why. Why has it all come to this? Even Edgeworth can't keep his kind of emotion bottled up. Okay. Are you up for the trial tomorrow? First last year's trial, now this one. It seems all you do is worry about me. To be honest, you're getting on my nerves. But Mr. Edgeworth, you can't just walk out on the trial. Tomorrow's the last day. It's too late to change prosecutors. I'll bet that's what my superiors are banking on. I never thought that case would come back to haunt me like this. What do you mean? The list of evidence. It seems too short. Most lists run twice as long. It's only half as long as most lists? That is odd. After Neil Marshall was murdered, I became prosecutor for that case. I may not have been part of the investigation, but I knew what I had to do. Use the evidence I was given to prove the suspect guilty. That was really the only thing that was on my mind at the time. Say, we just saw a picture taken around that time. That picture. Something seems strange about it. Okay, let's just ask about... Could you tell us again about what happened that day? The day Detective Goodman was murdered? You were participating in a ceremony over at the station, right? I've never cared for ceremonies, but I had to attend that one. Because you were awarded this? Those receiving awards can't exactly skip out on the ceremony. I finished up at the office in the morning, then drove over to the police department. You finished up at the office? Yes, just odds and ends. Clerical stuff. I didn't plan on returning to the office that day. That is, until I was asked to take something back. Take something back? This. Oh yeah, Chief Gant asked you to hold on to that, didn't he? Yes, it was a piece of evidence in a case that was closed half a year ago. He asked me to bring it back to the prosecutor's office. That's the story we heard yesterday. So you came back here to the prosecutor's office because the chief asked you to? That's right. Okay, cool. So now I present the photo. This picture was hanging on the wall in Chief Gant's office. Prosecutor Neil Marshall. He had just started making a name for himself. Looks like this was taken when he received the King of Prosecutors trophy. Speaking of that, there's something that bothers me. Yes? The trophy Mr. Marshall is holding. It's a little different than yours. Yes, you're right. I remember now. Remember what? That was when the official prosecutor's trophy looked like until 2 years ago. There's a story behind its design. A story? Sounds interesting. Would you mind telling it to us? It's simple, really. Contradiction. That's the award's based on. This award originates from an ancient Chinese tale. In Chinese, the word contradiction is written with 2 characters. The first means halberd, and the second means shield. Have you heard this story? Me? Oh, sure. Everyone knows that. Why don't you tell it, though? For Emma's sake. Very well. Long ago, in the kingdom of Chu, there was an arms merchant. One day, he presented the king with 2 items. The first was a halberd he claimed would slice through any shield or armor. The second was a shield he claimed could withstand any weapon. Wait a minute. Those claims contradict each other. Very perceptive. But then again, you've heard this story before, right? Anyway, as you mentioned, the very descriptions of these items discredit them both. When the king pointed this out, the merchant was left speechless, and thus the Chinese word for contradiction was born. I have no idea if that's actually true, but that's pretty neat. Oh, I see. So the chipped shield and the broken knives. Oh, I see. So the chipped shield and the broken knife symbolize... Precisely so. They symbolize the merchant's items. The ancient tale ends with the merchant at a loss for words. But it's in our nature to presume matters to their conclusion. Even if it results in something as ugly as this. Wow, thanks, Mr. Edgeworth. I learned something new today. That's funny. If that's so, then why were you only given a shield? You'll have to ask Chief Gaunt. 2 years ago, he had a halberd part of the award abolished. Chief Gant. The halberd was removed at Gant's behest, giving it its current form. Okay. Wait, okay, I want to look at... Okay, so I see the broken sword and the broken shield. Could it have been, like, the sword is actually what stabbed Neil Marshall, and that's why he had it abolished? Excuse me. Oh, here's Star. Would either of you care for a quarter pound of roast beef? Miss Star! I guess she's out of lunches. You certainly are curious sort, aren't you? Kind of like the first person who's... Okay, that's a little bit of a weird phrase, but okay. Still, I never thought you'd go digging up that case from 2 years ago. Everyone in this trial was involved in the SL9 incident. Not only that, but the murder occurred on the very day the evidence from that case was due for transferal. This can't all be attributed to mere coincidence. Aren't you forgetting something? You know that little scene I happened to witness? The instant Lana stabbed Detective Goodman with a knife. No matter how much of a past you dig up, it won't change what I saw. Roast beef is meant to be savored when eaten. Miss Starr's hatred toward Lana, it all dates back to 2 years ago. Joe Dark, that's not a name I'll soon forget. We trailed him for half a year. Oh, the pressure. Still, I don't think I was ever more alive than I was then. Those days were steamier than a bowl of hot gravy. Poor old Jake Marshall, though. He must have been going through hell. You mean because of his brother's death? They were close, those two. After Neil died, something took over Jake. He became obsessed. Seeing Jake like that made her all the more desperate. Her? Lana Skye. My sister. The best of the best were put on the SL9 case. Of course, they were led by that legendary duo. Lana and Chief Gaunt. Okay. That legendary pair was the reason we were able to keep up our investigation. That's why we were so shocked over how it turned out. You mean with the forging of the evidence? Don't get me wrong. Joe Dark got what he deserved. Still, it was obvious the evidence produced in court was being manipulated. Items our team never found would suddenly appear while other items were kept secret. But you don't have proof anything illegal was done. I'm proof enough of what happened. After that case, all of us save Goodman were relieved of our duties, most without even so much as an explanation. Then Lana Skye transferred to the prosecutor's office and became chief prosecutor. Lana always wanted to be a prosecutor. Nothing's quite as simple as it appears. Huh? Lana Skye was merely being used as a pawn. That's my take on the matter. She was being used? Lana transferred to the prosecutor's office 2 years ago, didn't she? Yes, thanks to Chief Gant's powerful influence. Chief? That's right. Having solved the SL9 case, his position as chief was secured. There was only one thing left for him to control. And then no one could stand in his way. The prosecutor's office. What? You mean that's why Lana was transferred? If he could control the chief prosecutor, he could control the prosecutor's office. That must have been his goal all along. But how could he control Lana? I don't know, but one thing's for sure. Ever since that case ended, she's never been the same. It's only logical to conclude there must have been a reason for her change. At last, I'm finally getting close to the bottom of this ugly mess. Thank you, Miss Starr. You listen to me, rookie. It takes more than just ingredients to create fine cuisine. I hope you turn out to be a better chef than I've been. Damon Gant and Lana Skye. Gant led the investigation with Lana second in command. They were the best. They solved all kind of cases together, didn't they? Damon Gant's magnetism in particular was almost unreal. His magnetism? By that I mean his ability to attract evidence. He'd produced the most incredible evidence in the cases he handled. Incredible evidence? You mean... Oh yes, there were rumors about him even back then. No one dared confront him, though. I take it she's talking about forged evidence. Back then, everyone looked up to Lana. All the detectives wanted to be like her. Really? Oh yes, myself included. I was a fool, really. She hated anything crooked and always watched out for the other detectives. That's why she was so concerned for Jake. Mr. Marshall. When Jake's brother was murdered, she felt as if she'd lost her own brother. If it wasn't for her, I don't think Jake would have ever recovered from his shock. That's what makes it all the more infuriating. Miss Starr. That's why I'll never be able to forgive her. Why'd she have to turn so cold after that? Alright. Let's show her this picture. I don't have anything else to tell you, Miss Starr. The only thing I can give you now is a poppy seed rice set. Talk about cheap. Eat this and maybe you'll be able to tell black from white in court tomorrow. Okay. Well, okay, nothing here. Trade Criminal Affairs. Oh, you're back. You're still here? I gotta make 150 copies of these files. Brewing coffee, copying files. I'm turning into a regular DJ. You're a DJ as well? If I'm not mistaken, I think he means desk jockey. Oh, that DJ. I got in my persistency, but my answer's still no. I'm not letting you in the chief's office, period. It'd be my neck on the line. That office is the last crime scene. Last crime scene in the SL9 incident. If I have to look in there. There's gotta be something we can do to make the detective change his mind. Okay. Anything to talk about? Let's move anywhere else we can go. Let's present her with this picture. Okay, that doesn't help. Where else can we go? Nope, nothing here. Nothing new to talk about. Huh. Okay, I'm honestly not sure what to do. Do I try to present something? Weapon found in wound was missing a tip. Okay, oh, wait a second. Okay. Okay. So we go up to the... Okay, I wasn't going to get this, so I did quickly look it up. So we have to examine the piece of paper under his desk. I forgot you could examine scenes. Wonder what he was writing before. Come on, Mr. Wright, let's take a look. You crazy? Edgeworth is sitting right there. Just distract him. I'll check it out. Hey, Edgeworth. Is that Detective Dumbshoe at the window there? Oh no, he's falling to the ground. Hold on. First, let me see what this girl's doing crawling around at my feet. He didn't even look. What? Letter of... If you're having trouble reading, I'll read it for you. It says letter of resignation. Resignation? Edgeworth, you don't mean... I'm tired, right? I feel as if something inside me has died. But Mr. Edgeworth, none of it is your fault. I know that path I've walked. You don't need to tell me. And the path I've walked hasn't been a just one. I can't forgive myself for what I've done. And no one else should forgive me either. Uh-oh, I think he's serious. Mr. Wright, please, you have to do something. This letter of resignation, I wonder if I can use it for anything. Okay. Okay, now do we try to show this to... Move. Criminal affairs. Okay, now we try to present this to him. What's this crumpled up piece of paper? No way! Mr. Edgeworth can't be serious. Is he ever not serious? I can't believe they pushed him this far. Mr. Edgeworth really feels responsible. When I first met him, I thought he was cold as ice, too. But I know different now. He trusted us detectives to provide him with sound evidence. But when we betrayed him. Detective? That's it. I've made up my mind. But, here, take my ID card. You can't do that. If someone found out, they wouldn't let you off the hook with another lost item report. Look at me. It's no secret I'm already out of the loop. After all, I'm friends with Mr. Edgeworth. Depending on how this case turns out, I may already be as good as terminated. What? So at least let me do this, for Mr. Edgeworth's sake. Alright, Detective. Thank you. There's Gumshoe. Detective Gumshoe isn't very photogenic, is he? Whatever you do, just don't say that to his face. Look, his eyes are half shut. Yeah, and his mouth is half open. Hey, each of his shirt buttons is off a notch. He's got the narrow end of his tie in the front. Oh, gosh. I think this goes up beyond being a photogenic issue. Cool. Alright, let's go back. Alright, go Chief's office. Here goes, Mr. Wright. We're in. If anyone finds us now, Detective Gumshoe's a goner. If that happens, I'm counting on you to bail me out. Eek! God! Sorry, I thought you were a ghost. I didn't even know you could slap a ghost. Ah, Detective Gumshoe. What are you doing sneaking up on us like that? I wasn't sneaking. I was just worried something might go wrong. So I came too. If you're here, then what's the point in giving us your ID card? Gumshoe's ID crushed and rendered unusable. Hey, don't do that to my card. I haven't got a chance to come in here, so I'd figure I'd have a look around myself. Besides, we're all in this together now. You really do want to get fired, don't you? Not if we're lucky. Now come on, let's see what we can find out. I've got a bad feeling about this. Alright, okay, let's talk. That desk on the other side of the room, was that your sister's? Yes, that's where I was waiting for Lana. On that day 2 years ago. Is anyone using it now? No, sir. This is entirely Chief Gant's office now. Practices a strict policy of preserving the crime scene. It's a strange reason to leave it here. He leaves it as a warning to everyone else. He wants us to always be alert. He told us so himself at a New Year's party. Of course, he was pretty intoxicated at the time. I see. So ever since Lana left, no one touches that desk? No one except Chief Gant and the cleaning lady who's here each morning. Still, 2 years have passed since that incident. There can't possibly be any clues remaining. Can I ask you something? Sure. You only came here to look around, right? Because it's one of those SL9 crime scenes. I mean, that's your only reason for coming here, isn't it? Why do you ask? You don't think? Nah, you wouldn't be, no. No, there's no way. Never mind. Don't worry about it. Okay, then. Now let's look around a bit more. Hey, hold on. Not so fast, buddy. Huh? What is it? Someone tells you don't worry about it. It's supposed to stop bothering you, pal. You don't just let it go like that. Sorry. This guy's starting to get on my nerves. Okay, so what's bothering you? You don't think Chief Gant might be a suspect, do you? What? He's right, Mr. Wright. What do we think of him? Chief Gant. So it's finally come to this. What do I think of him? Perhaps it's best I don't divulge my feelings yet. There you go, ignoring me again. Alright, let's examine. This is a safe, isn't it? Safe. That word is ripe with intrigue. Okay, if you say so. Looks like a code needs to be entered in this panel to open it. 7-digit number. think I just might know what it is. You know what it is? I have a hunch. Oh, I know. You want to try my birthday, it's... I have a better idea. Here goes nothing. Okay. 5, 6, 7. Code confirmed, access granted. So it's the same thing as his, like, his ID number. Bingo. What number did you enter? Whose birthday was that, pal? 7777. Oh, 777777. The final ID card number on that record. What? The number of the mysterious executive officer who entered the room that day. You mean 77777777? That ID number? I think you're 1-7 shy this time. This can mean only one thing. That's Chief Gant's ID number. Say, anyone care to look inside? Okay. Is there any money in there? How much does he have stashed away? Look, it's a shard from a broken cup. This somehow looks familiar. Where have I seen this before? There's something else in here too. What's this? It looks like a piece of leather cloth. This is a handprint, isn't it? Hey, I saw someone wearing a shirt like that once. You think the chief made up the design? I don't think so. Oh, well, it was just a thought. What? Is that it? Is that all that was in the safe? Apparently so. It's empty now. Piece of cloth with a handprint on it. And a broken shard from a cup. They look like pieces of evidence. Yeah, but unless you can prove they have something to do with this case, I'm afraid I can't just let you take them. After all, it's my neck on the line here. Great. Now I have to prove their relevancy to get them. How are the two items related to the SL9 incident? Come on, there's gotta be something we can show the detective. Here, let me hit B. Present. Okay, this is obviously a piece from this vase. Detective Gumshoe, could you have another look at this jar? I remember when the three of us put that back together. Ah, those were the days. It's kind of early to be nostalgic. Wasn't this jar a piece of evidence from that case? That's right. One of the shots had SL9 incident sticker on it. Doesn't this ring any bells? You know, the fragment we just found? You mean this one that was in the safe? Yes, that one. That was in the safe. Now that you mention it, it's ringing a lot of bells. Alright, assemble fragments. Here, let me see that shard. I'll take a crack at this. Go ahead, pal. Show us what a rookie can do. Mr. Wright, here's some glue. If I can piece this together again, it'll prove Chief Gant was knowingly hiding evidence. Here goes. There we go. There. If it's like a charm, that of course means Chief Gant willingly and knowingly hid a piece of this jar in his safe. In other words, he concealed a piece of evidence from the SL9 incident. But... Hey guys, get a load of this. What is it? This piece you just attached. It's different from the others. There's a reddish line on it. Reddish line? That's blood. I don't get it. Why would Chief Gant hide this in his safe? Okay, I want to check this. Oh, not this. I thought I was hovering over the picture. Oh wait, no I'm not. 'Cause he was wearing leather. Let me try to present this. Okay, I'm back. Let's examine. Wow, look at the size of Chief Gant's desk. Speaking of that, when we were here earlier... Oh, it's you two. Chief Gant. He put that paper he was reading in his desk. Wonder what he was reading. It looks like a list of evidence. List of evidence? In most cases, the list runs twice as long as this one. Hey, look at the case name! Huh? Oh, SL9 incident? I wonder what this is doing here. Hold on, detective. What did you just say? I said I wonder what. Know about evidence lists. Normally they're twice as long? That's right. I guess there wasn't a lot of evidence. Half-sized list of evidence. The list of evidence, it seems too short. Most lists run twice as long. What would the other half of the list be doing here? I knew it! The chief must be hiding something about that case. It would appear so. Okay, wait, let's look at that list. Okay. Oh, wow. I wonder what this is. It looks like someone drew some kind of sketch here. What is it? Did you find something? I can't make it out. I better keep quiet about it for now. Huh? Oh, no, it's nothing. Why are your eyes moving about like that, Mr. Wright? Better not forget about this picture. Okay. Alright, let's keep looking around. Okay, organ. Chief's organ is sure is a sight to behold. Occasionally we hear him playing it from the criminal affairs department. It's on the 2nd floor, and this is the 15th floor of an entirely different building. When the detective screws up, the chief calls him to his office and makes him listen to the organ for hours. What's so bad about that? Music soothes the soul. After that, the detective can't hear anything for days except the ringing in their ears. So it's an instrument of punishment, literally. Aren't the chief's ears affected? He never listens to anyone anyway. That's beside the point. Slide to the left. Okay. This is Lana's desk. It sure is tidy. Lana's always been a meticulous cleaner. There's not even dust on it. Looks like someone's still keeping it clean. Does Lana ever come back here? No. Chief Gant must still keep it clean in memory of the partnership. They were the stuff legends were made of. Does he keep it in memory of her or in memory of the crime? These shelves are mostly empty. Lana must have cleaned them out when she transferred over to the prosecutor's office. There's a small picture frame on the left shelf. Hey! This is when Lana and I went to that theme park. Aw. Kinda sad. At the window. Look at that giant window. Makes you want to crash through it and jump outside. This is the 15th floor. I know. I was just saying. Saying what? Ever since making Detective, I've always dreamed about doing something like that. Note to self, Detective Gumshoe has a lot of dreams. So long as he doesn't go crashing through that window when he gets fired. Don't say that! Okay, anything else? Check the desk. I guess the picture. This was taken on that day 2 years ago. The day Joe Dark ran out of the questioning room and tried to kill Emma. After receiving his award trophy, Mr. Marshall took a picture here, then went along with Chief Gant to question Dark. Bet he never knew he'd be dead just a few hours later. Gee, you think? Oh, wait a second, I want to look... Okay. Okay, if you look... This knight is holding... Looks like a halberd. Back, let's slide back over. This is the real deal, isn't it? This armor and these weapons? Sure is, pal. Chief doesn't care for imitations. First the pipe organ, now this armor? Do you know how many taxpayer dollars must have gone into this room? What? You mean we're paying for this? That's it. I'm not paying 1 cent of my taxes. You don't have any taxes to pay. Jeez, be careful what you say. Who knows, the chief may be hiding in this armor as we speak. I don't think he'd fit in there. Even if he did, he'd never be able to get back out. Cut it out, you guys don't know how scary that guy can be. You can see pretty far from 15 stories up. If you were to drop that suit of armor from here... At first, the chief wanted to use stained glass for this window. Really? Why didn't he? They say. He changed his mind because he wouldn't be able to see the view. Oh. Stained glass or not, it's a huge window. Okay. Desk. Side. What's this? This mark looks like some kind of flower. The wood is it's designed after the insignia on the prosecutor's badge. Prosecutor's badge? Yeah, like the one hanging from your collar. What? They have badges too? The design's supposed to portray the severity of the punishment system. Now that you mention it, it does look all pointy and kind of painful. But Mr. Edgeworth never wears a badge. That's because he's a sharp dresser. A badge like that wouldn't go too well with his outfit. So sharp dressers don't need to wear badges? I guess everyone kind of just lets it slide. I don't see how that's supposed to signify severe punishment. Alright, let's head back. Can we talk about anything? Nah. That's what the chief was reading before, wasn't it? You know, when we first came in here? Yeah, it looks like the right side of the sworn's been torn off. So Mr. Edgeworth's list really was only half of the whole thing. Something else is bugging me more than that. Take a look at the back of the form, pal. The back? Okay, I did take a look at the back of it. Okay, I've already done that. Alright, oh, wait. Oh, wait, shoot, I forgot. I need to check. So I can dust the thing for fingerprints. Let's present this. I think you have a look at this. Take some fingerprints. That's a great idea, detective. Oh. I knew that, right? The one with the handprint on it, right? Sheesh, where's your sense of humor? Okay, here we go. Check for prints. What are you, my mom? Okay, let's go. Okay. Okay. So let's cover this. Would there be any fingerprints on this, like if it was 2 years ago? Okay, below. Give it my best shot. The kind of result won't be any good for matching prints, will it? But it does look like we'll get a clear result from this print. Let's try a different finger then. Okay. Let's try pointer. Honestly, I'm not gonna... Yeah, here we go. Alright, let's blow this off. There we go. One second, I have a hair in my eye. kind of hurt. I gave it my best shot. The result won't be any good for matching prints, will it? But doesn't look like we'll get a clear result from this print. Let's try a different finger. Okay, so we're just going around. Alright, actually this one looks really good. Can you dust this more? Really kick it on there. Okay, wait, why did that? Okay. Okay, we're going to cover every inch of the screen with white. It's gonna look like a polar bear in a blizzard. There we go, okay. I don't know what happened this time. Alright, so compare. I don't think this is gonna be a match. It doesn't match. It looks like we're out of clues this time. One that happened right here in this room. She's right. We should check the fingerprints of everyone who's in here that day. Okay. No, not Jake. Bruce Goodman. It kind of looks like his. Oh, looks. Not Lana. Oh, that's Emma's. That's a super clear match. Alright, there we go. Match found. No, how can this be? What are Emma's fingerprints doing here? Hey, you found a match. Whose fingerprints were they? Huh? Oh, it seems the prints are too old. They aren't clear enough to get a match. Oh, that's too bad. I thought they'd be Dark's prints. Psst. Hey, you. Over here. What's going on here? What is this kid's prints doing inside the chief's safe? Don't ask me. Let's just keep this information from Emma for now. Here. Maybe you should hold on to this. Alright. Well, was I any help? Of course. Thanks to your ID card, we were able to get some hard evidence. No, that's not very kind, is it? In other words, if it wasn't for his ID card, he would have been useless. Isn't that right? You in the coat? Eek! Chief Gant! We didn't think you'd be back so soon. Unfortunately, I'm a man who believes in signs. I was walking to my meeting. I happened to look out a window and saw a stray dog run right into a bowl. Then I thought of a certain detective. Do you mean me, sir? Now then, I'm afraid I'm going to have to ask you all to leave. Yes, sir. Sorry. Oh, you in the coat. Me, sir? Drop off your ID on the way out. You won't be needing it anymore. But, sir? Now get out. Yes, sir. We'll be on our way out too then. Wait, you, the one without the spiky hair. Don't go yet. Me, sir? I'd like a word with you. But, sir, I'm not a licensed scientific investigator yet. You with the spiky hair, you're free to go. Mr. Wright. Look, pal, if I've told you once, I've told you 1,000 times. Chief's office is off limits. But no, you just had to go sneaking in there like that, didn't you? I thought you said you didn't care anymore if you're fired. Yeah, but if I knew it'd be like this, then I never would have said it. And I've seen the evidence Chief Gant was hiding in his office. I think I'm finally starting to get the picture. But why has she kept eerily silent about it all this time? Anyway, you listening to me, pal? I'm gonna try to smooth things over with the Chief again. Later, pal. After that, I heard from Emma. She said the police wanted to ask her some questions, so she'll be busy for the rest of the day. I see. So the Chief asked Emma to come in for questioning. It's no use thinking about it. Tomorrow's the final day in court. I'm committed to doing everything I can to defend you, which is why I'm here. But I've already told you all I can. What you've told me over these past couple of days is absolutely nothing, not a single useful thing. Really? I believe I did mention something quite important. Something I told you right at the beginning. I said I was the one who stabbed Detective Goodman. You know, I think I finally figured it out. I know who it is that's lurking behind your words. Mia did a good job mentoring you. I'm rather jealous. It seems Edgeworth was right. Edgeworth? Once you're convinced you know something, no one can persuade you otherwise. Thick-headed is the term he used, I believe. Now's my chance to get her to tell me the rest of the story. Now let's talk. I have to admit, I was more than a little perplexed at first. You insisted you did it, yet there was no incriminating evidence. That's when it hit me. It's not that you're unwilling to tell the truth. It's that you're incapable of doing so because of a certain individual. What an intriguing notion. A certain individual, you say? So you think I'm protecting this person? Protecting? No. I think afraid of is more like it. If I'm not mistaken, the person in question may have persuaded you to silence. For argument's sake, Mr. Wright, who may I ask is this person of your speaking? The one I am supposedly so frightened of. What's this person's name? Well, Mr. Gant. Well, Miss Skye? Mr. Wright, you are addressing the Chief Prosecutor. Do not forget your place. I take it she's still not ready to spill the beans. My apologies. Could you please tell me a bit more about what you think you know? We were partners until 2 years ago. I respected him as a detective. Assuming he is respectable, then tell me something. Why would he try to hide his crimes? His crimes? Both you and Edgeworth will be brought before a board of inquiry for what you did. Specifically, hiding and forging evidence. Of course, these are serious offenses. Why is it, though, that the Chief Gant's name was never mentioned? Chief Gant? Edgeworth didn't know the truth behind the forgery. The only party who could have possibly tampered with the evidence was me. I had access because I was second in command of that investigation. Yes, you did, but also one other, Damon Gant. If you intend to accuse Chief Gant, you'll need more than just words. Show me proof that Chief Gant falsified evidence in that case.
Take that!
You want the proof of the Chief's wrongdoings? Here it is. That evidence proves someone is doing something wrong, all right. But it's not the Chief. Who could that be? Why, you, of course. Me? Yes, you seriously believe what you're saying, don't you? Now, that's scary. You seem to have the makings of a criminal in you, what with all your fallacious accusations. Care to spend tonight in the cell next to mine? If you ask me, you're the scary one. Oh. Okay, wait a sec. So I didn't do the right piece of evidence. Show me proof he falsified evidence.
Take that!
I just found this in a safe in the chief's office. This jar piece and this piece of cloth. Do you know what these are? Pieces of evidence from the SL9 incident. The person concealing evidence was none other than Chief Gant himself. Now tell me, why are you taking all the blame for him? Touché, Mr. Wright. It's as you surmised, I cannot disobey the Chief's orders, even if it means being found guilty for murder. Why not? Come now, Mr. Wright. You can't possibly expect me to be able to tell you that. 3 days ago, I had no choice but to cooperate. In the murder of Detective Goodman? Or perhaps I should say, follow orders. Yes, that's more accurate than cooperate. Although I can't tell you the details, I can say that I was given an order that day. I need you to dispose of Bruce Goodman's body. You'll find it inside the trunk of my Edgeworth's car. Just as I suspected. Despite what everyone believes, you were not the one who murdered Detective Goodman, correct? I was trying to take the body out of Edgeworth's car. The trunk's lock was broken, and I discovered that the murder weapon... While inspecting the body, the murder weapon? You mean Edgeworth's knife? No. When I found the body, this was the knife stuck in it. The knife from the SL9 incident? The serial killer Joe Dark's knife? I couldn't just leave that knife in him, so I took it out and stabbed him with another knife. That would be Edgeworth's knife. That's right. Even though he was already dead, my hands were shaking at the thought of stabbing him. That's why I ended up cutting my hand. Is that the reason for the bandage on your right hand? Yes. Seems I got blood on the victim's shoes as well. And then... She saw me just as I plunged the knife in. Miss Starr, huh? Why did you need to hide Dark's knife so badly? It took a lot of work to finally close the Dark case 2 years ago. It was over with. I didn't ever want to be opened again. My intent was to prevent that, by whatever means possible. So you hid Dark's knife? The weapon used to stab the detective was evidence in the Joe Dark case. Oh, if word got out, which it would, the reporters would have a field day with that. So you wrapped the knife in your scarf and hid it in Edgeworth's exhaust pipe. Right, then I called my sister to tell her what happened and to ask her to hide the knife that was inside my muffler. You asked Emma? I didn't want anyone on the force to know about this. That would explain why Emma is so confident about Lana's innocence. Speaking of phone calls, I had a bad feeling about one of them that day. A bad feeling? The truth is, after I received those orders from Chief Gant, the first thing I did was make a phone call. A phone call to Patrolman Jake Marshall. To Marshall? Why on earth would you call him? The lead investigator for the SL9 incident had been murdered. I wanted that fact to be kept hidden, and I needed help. He was the only other person I could trust, or at least I thought I could trust him at the time. However, it seems after he spoke to him, he went off on an escapade of his own. Oh, you mean, not wanting the case to die, he decided to take things into his own hands. He disguised himself as Detective Goodman and tried to steal the evidence. He had already stolen the ID card, but it seems he still hadn't made his mind to break into the evidence room. After my phone call, any remaining doubts he had must have disappeared. So your phone call caused the incident in the evidence room. I'm afraid that's all I can tell you. But Lana, you've earned my respect, Mr. Wright, both as a defense attorney and an investigator. Now please, don't pursue this any further in court tomorrow. Tomorrow's trial? There's only one way to drive off Lana's demons. I've got to get to the bottom of everything. Detective Goodman's real murderer. And what went down in the chief's office 2 years ago. To be continued. Ooh. Alrighty. Alright, yeah, let's save progress. Okay, let me see here. I've got about 15 minutes before I would usually end my stream. Do I want to get into the courtroom, or is this just a good time to end? Let me see. Rise from the Ashes, final day. Okay, so this is the last day. Okay, I don't think I'm going to finish the game tonight. I've got a whole day of trial to do. If there's a trial former, that means there's probably a trial ladder. So that means probably 2 parts. I'm not sure I have the time to finish one of the parts tonight, because that'll probably be another hour at least. And I usually end by 10:30. Um, hmm. All right, let's try to make it through the trial former. Let's go for it. Okay. Court's always the most fun part of the game anyways. Let's keep going. February 25th, 9:47 a.m. District Court, Defendant Lobby number 2. This is the defendant lobby, all right, but there's no defendant. I've been trying to reach Lana all morning. Where could she be? Actually, before I keep going, I'm going to use the restroom quick. Let me drop you guys off at the beach. You guys have fun there for a little bit. And I will be back in just a second. Let me get some beach music playing. Can you hear the sound of the ocean? Relaxing, isn't it, chat? Alright. There we go. I'll be right back. I'm just gonna use the restroom quick, grab some water. Alrighty, I am back. Hope you guys have been having fun at the beach. Let me pause that music. I'm gonna give credit right here. Some Kevin MacLeod. If you enjoy this music, be sure to go check the rest of his stuff out. He's really great. Alright, awesome. Let's get back to the game. Alrighty. Get back. Okay. And where's Emma, for that matter? It almost seems as if something's been happening behind the scenes. Edgeworth! Knowing you, you've already figured it out. Who the owner of the 7777777 ID number is, that is. Well, I have a pretty strong hunch. Looks like I'm not the only one who's figured it out. You know, the only reason this trial didn't reach a verdict yesterday is because there was still room for doubt regarding this ID record. If that number does belong to whom you suspect, then no doubt will remain. After all, he hasn't been officially charged with anything. True, not yet. In any event, once all doubt has been removed from that list, I can call for a ruling. 5 minutes, right? And Chief Prosecutor Skye will be found guilty. But she didn't do it! I figured you'd say as much. That's why I came here, to hear what you have to say. This is the first time he's ever done something like this. Lana's hiding something, and the only way we'll ever know the truth is to draw it out of her. The truth? Everything goes back to the SL9 incident. Don't be stupid. Today's the last day of the trial. We don't have time to reminisce about the past. That depends on you. If she's found guilty, you'll lose your only chance to find out what really happened. I'll think about it. See you in court, right? This is it. If I'm ever going to find out what Chief Gant has on her, it's now. February 25th, 10 a.m., District Court, courtroom number 9. Court is now in session for the trial of Miss Lana Skye. The defense is ready, Your Honor. The prosecution is ready, Your Honor. Normally, this is when the prosecution puts forth its opening statement. Before that, the police chief has given a proposal to make. Chief Gant? Morning, folks. How's everyone doing? Hey, Haji, been back to the pool yet? No, I've been drowning enough as it is in my work. Oh, that's a good one. Don't think I can top that. If you don't mind me asking, Chief, what exactly is this proposal of yours? Lana, that is to say, the defendant, has asked me if she could speak directly to the court. She wants to do what? Having heard what she intends to say, I feel she should be granted her request. In the end, it should save everyone a lot of time and trouble. What's this all about, defendant? I'd just like to make one simple request and I'll be finished. Well then, what's your request? Your Honor, I'd like you to put an immediate end to this trial. Huh? I confess to all charges against me. On February 21st of this year, I murdered Detective Bruce Goodman in the underground parking lot of the prosecutor's office. No, Lana!
Objection!
You can't! Your Honor, the defendant's claim does not change the defense's plea. In that case, Mr. Wright, I no longer require your services. But Lana! Your Honor, I hereby forfeit my right to an attorney. The prosecution may lack direct evidence against me, but it has sufficiently proven its case through testimony and circumstantial evidence. I'd like you to render your verdict now, if you please. Well, the defendant certainly has the right to self-representation. Your request is legally valid, although this is an unprecedented situation. Indeed, it appears there's no further need to continue this trial. even if Mr. Right may feel otherwise. This can't be happening. It appears the time for the verdict has arrived. The court finds the defendant.
Objection!
Is Emma gonna arrive in? One moment, Your Honor. Mr. Edgeworth? The prosecution has not yet proven the defendant guilty beyond reasonable doubt. Any ruling at this stage would certainly be premature. Come on. Come on now, Worthy. I understand this has been a difficult time for you, but why don't you just be a good little boy and keep your mouth shut, I don't think I care for your tone, Chief Gant. What? Creating another fabrication to cover up your past mistakes? Sorry, but I'm no longer the naive little boy you would have me be. With this sudden confession from the defendant, it's obvious to me some kind of deal was struck behind the scenes. Some kind of deal? Not everyone operates as you do, Worthy. I thought so. Your Honor, the prosecution would like to change its first witness. Oh, to whom? As its first witness, the prosecution would like to call Miss Emma Skye. I request the court hears her testimony. Mr. Edgeworth, I'm exercising my right to self-representation. I don't think we need to I don't care what you think, Miss Skye. The exposure of truth sometimes results in tragedy. However, no matter how tragic the truth may be, it would be an even greater tragedy to avert one's eyes from it. Very well, the court shall grant the prosecution's request. That's okay with you, right, Chief Gant? Worthy, you'll live to regret this. Mark my words. Miss Emma Skye, please take the stand. Looks like Edgeworth has decided to take the horse by the reins. Okay, Emma. Now then, witness, please state your name and occupation. Well, my name is Emma Skye. My occupation? I'm Lana's little sister, and I want to be a scientific investigator. 2 years ago, you encountered the serial killer Joe Dog of the Joe Dog killings. Is this correct? Yes. I'm trying my hardest to forget about that, though. I'm sorry, but I'm afraid I'm going to have to ask you to recall those events one more time. Mr. Edgeworth, please. This trial concerns the murder of Detective Goodman. Is an incident that was resolved 2 years ago really all that's relevant? Yes, it most certainly is. Well, okay then. You sure gave him fast. Now, please testify about what happened to you 2 years ago. The trip to yesteryear has finally begun. It's about to lead to the truth behind this trial. Alright, 2 years ago. Here we go. I was waiting in my sister's office that day. A man came running in and took me hostage. Neil Marsh rescued me, but I'll never forget about what I saw in that instant. The man raised up his knife and stabbed Mr. Marshall in the chest. It's a good thing you weren't harmed. I passed out. I don't remember much. That's understandable, however. Please tell me, Mr. Edgeworth, what does this testimony have to do with Detective Goodman's murder? That will soon become apparent, Your Honor. You've got to admire him for his courage, considering he has no evidence. Very well, the defense may begin its cross-examination.
Hold it!
2 years ago, the defendant was a detective at the police department, correct? Yes, she was second in command under the then Deputy Chief of Police Gant. My sister, she was the best detective ever. Yes, I remember. Deputy Chief Gant and Mrs. Guy used to be quite the pair. I believe they shared the same office. That's right. I'd always sit at my sister's desk and dream about playing that organ. wanted to play it that day too. The police department and the prosecutor's office held a ceremony that day. Lana promised to take me to dinner after she finished her work. A man came running in and took me hostage. Okay. A man? Yes, Joe Dark. He was a serial killer. Joe Dark was brought in for questioning on that day of the ceremony. We were desperate to get anything on him that would lead to an arrest. When he saw his chance, he fled the room, right? Upon fleeing the room, Dark proceeded to take the elevator. He must have been in a panic because the elevator was going up. Then he ran into Sky and Gant's office. There was a lot of noise coming from outside, so I opened up the door to have a look. That's when I saw him. Neil Marshall rescued me. What was the prosecutor doing there? That day, there were two people present during Doc's questioning. Deputy Chief Damon Gant and Prosecutor Neil Marshall. Almost forgot about Gant. Neil Marshall had just received the King of Prosecutors Award. Young and dedicated, he went straight to questioning room after the ceremony. I would assume that would also be why he was the first to run after Dark. When Dark grabbed me, I thought I was good as dead. And that's when Prosecutor Marshall came running in. I don't clearly remember what happened then, but I'll never forget what I saw in that instant. Can you tell us about that? Mr. Marshall jumped on Dark. Just then, the lights went out. The lights? It was just about this time of the year. There was a terrible storm going on and lightning struck nearby. So the electricity went out? Wait a minute. If it was pitch dark in that room, you shouldn't have been able to see anything, right? Right, but just then lightning flashed again outside. That sudden flash left an unforgettable image of the scene in my mind. I see. I told the detective about what I saw then. The detective? Yes, Detective Goodman. He was in charge of the case. Detective Bruce Goodman, the victim. So you spoke with Detective Goodman about this 2 years ago? Yes, that's what's so scary about this trial. And you told Detective Goodman about what you saw? Yes, but at the time, the words just wouldn't come out. That's why I drew a picture. A picture? Yes, I think she mentioned that before. Well, Mr. Wright, have you heard enough? This picture the witness drew, I believe it has a very important meaning. But the list of evidence I was given 2 years ago didn't contain a picture. Witness, would you mind if we added this statement to your testimony? Yes, Your Honor. I drew a picture of that scene once, but it seems to have been lost. Okay, I'm gonna present the picture.
Objection!
Mr. Edgeworth. This poor little girl put all her heart into drawing that picture. And yet you would insist on denying its existence? Huh? Hey, I'm not the bad guy. All I'm saying is that as the prosecutor for that case, I wasn't handed such a picture. That may well be, but that doesn't mean it doesn't exist. Behold, this is the evidence list for the SL9 incident. Please turn it over, Your Honor. Turn it over, turn it. Ah, what's this? Yes. Yes, what is that? Hey, that's it. That's the picture I drew. She's a good artist, like... Indeed, two men appear to be wrestling here. What's the meaning of this? What are you doing with that list? Me? Only the prosecutors are in charge should have access to that list. Huh? These lists, they're different from each other. What? It would appear, Mr. Edgeworth, that the evidence list you were handed 2 years ago was incomplete. These two lists fit together to form one. You can see the marks here where they were torn apart from each other. So you see, Mr. Edgeworth, it's quite obvious what happened. 2 years ago. Only half of the evidence in that case ever reached you. What? What? Order, order! But, Miss Sky, why did you draw your picture on the back of such an important list? Because that's what Detective Goodman handed me in the questioning room, Your Honor. Wait a minute. If this list was torn in half, that means... Your Honor, are you all right, Mr. Wright? Are your eyes bulging from your head? If the evidence list was torn in half, then there might be more of the drawing on the back of Mr. Edgeworth's list. Yes, that's quite conceivable. Mr. Edgeworth? It's possible. Let's see. Something wrong? Do you even have to ask? Sorry, Your Honor. There's indeed something drawn on the back of my list. It's that thing. The blue badger? That's... That thing? That thing that was dancing in the evidence room? Clearly, this is an act of vandalism is the work of a certain chief of detectives. I guess he was out of scrap paper. Evidence list stored and updated in the court record. Very well, witness. Will you please testify about this picture you drew 2 years ago? Huh? Oh, yes, sir, Your Honor. What's wrong with Emma? She seems to be thinking about something when she was looking at that picture. Okay, okay, I want to... Okay, let's take a look at the picture. Check it out. Okay. Huh. It does look like the blue badger. But if we turn our heads... I don't know what that's supposed to be. This is the picture I drew 2 years ago. The flash of lightning was so bright, all I could see were the shadows. After that, I must have fainted. This picture shows exactly what I saw in an instant. To think a flash of lightning could burn such an image in your mind. Thanks to that, though, she was able to show us exactly what she saw. Well, I don't see any contradictions here. This clearly shows Joe Dark about to murder prosecutor Neil Marshall. The defense may now begin its cross-examination. This is the picture I drew 2 years ago. Press. Did you draw this picture right after the incident? I think I drew it 2 or 3 days later. First, I was in such a state of shock I couldn't do anything. During that time, the investigation team was reorganized. Detective Goodman was placed in charge, under the direction of Damon Gant and Lana Skye. 2 or 3 days later, the memory should have still been fresh in her mind. Excuse me, witness. Can you please tell us why this picture is painted all black? The flash of lightning was so bright, all I could see were shadows. So at the time, you didn't even know it was Mr. Marshall who had come to your rescue? No, I couldn't see him clearly. The lightning was so bright, and I was knocked to the floor. You were knocked to the floor? Dark had a tight grip on me, but when Mr. Marshall jumped on him, I was knocked away. I turned around, and that's when the lightning flashed. Court record. Okay, profiles. Oh, it doesn't show his face. I'm thinking maybe it was Damon Gant who stabbed him. Right, because they needed a murder they could pin on him. Pin on the serial killer. Poor Emma. I'm just glad she wasn't hurt. What happened after the lightning flashed? After that, I must have fainted. You mean you didn't see the actual murder take place? No, I'm sorry. The flash of lightning only drove off the darkness for a split second. Not only that, but the trauma of the situation understandably caused the witness to faint. Do you really need to torture this girl any further? What? Hey, I'm not the bad guy here. Anyway, this picture shows exactly what I saw in that instinct. Sorry for asking so many times, but are you sure you drew exactly what you saw? Of course, this is the exact scene. Was it influenced any way by talks with the detectives? Are you insinuating we somehow manipulated her memory, Mr. Wright? No, of course not. Better watch out or he might find some way to cut my salary. I drew this picture before I heard anything from the detectives, so I don't think anyone's story would have influenced me. Mr. Wright, is there something that's bothering you about this picture? Huh? Oh well... That's strange. She claims this is exactly what was imprinted on her mind, and yet, there's clearly a contradiction here. Okay. What can I present? Okay, let me look at the... Stabbed in the back. Okay, present. Because this shows somebody about to be stabbed in the front. I hate to be the bearer of bad news, but this picture the witness drew contains a blatant contradiction. What? But I still remember it just like it was yesterday. Mr. Wright, perhaps it would be faster if you simply pointed out this contradiction for us. What part of this picture contradicts the autopsy report? I suppose it's just that he's facing forward, right?
Take that!
Okay, this is a bit exaggerated. Okay, let's save here.
Take that!
I don't know, like... Take a look at the knife the man is holding. If you can look closely, you see its tip is broken. Even I don't have to look closely to see that, Mr. Wright. But Mr. Wright, look at the evidence. See the murder weapon? Its tip is broken too. If I recall, the tip of the knife was found broken off in the victim's body. It was the conclusive piece of evidence that proved Joe Dark was the murderer. I'm afraid it's not so simple, Emma. And where, pray tell, could you possibly see a problem? It's obvious, really. The victim suffered a single stab wound to the back. If the victim was only stabbed once, then the murder weapon should not yet be broken. Ah! What's the meaning of this? Perhaps the knife was broken beforehand. Sorry, but I'm afraid that's not possible. The tip of the knife was found inside the victim's body. It was broken beforehand. It couldn't possibly wind up there. That's right, but what does this mean? The tip of the knife was undeniably discovered within the victim's body. The only possible explanation is the witness's memory is mistaken. That's why I asked her so many times if she was sure she remembered correctly. I believe you were annoyed at the time, but she was sure she remembered correctly. But there's no other way to explain this inconsistency. Not so fast, Mr. Edgeworth. There is another explanation. Have you forgotten already about a little something called falsified evidence? You're treading on thin ice, right? All I'm saying is that this broken knife tip might be the piece of evidence that was forged. You can't deny the possibility. No. Ah! Order, order, order! Are you saying the investigation really was corrupted? Your Honor, please allow me to once again go over the events that took place the day of the murder. The police department and the prosecutor's office were holding a ceremony that day. After receiving the King of Prosecutors Award at the ceremony, Neil Marshall questioned Doe Dark along with Damon Gant. During his questioning, Joe Dark fled the room. Prosecutor Marshall chased after him and was killed by Dark. It is my belief that somewhere in this story there's a lie. Hi. I'm not lying. The man was really holding up a broken knife. If that's true, then there's no other way around it. This could not have been the actual murder weapon. There must have been another broken knife. What are the chances of there being two broken knives? Another broken knife besides Joe Dark's? Could there have been one? No, there is another one. It's on the shield. The king of attorneys. King of prosecutors. It can't be just explained away by a simple observational error. Mr. Wright. In that instant, Emma really did see a broken knife. I assume, then, that you have some information about this other broken knife? If so, please feel free to enlighten us. The murder weapon was already broken prior to the murder. There's only one way. Take a look at this. Here's the real murder weapon. Okay. One sec. Okay, well, I can't save right now. Can I? Nope, I can't. If anything's broken here, it's you. Huh? I'm sure this must all be very amusing to you, Mr. Wright. May I remind you the fate of Miss Lannis? Wait. Okay. Wait, pause. Okay, I'm gonna save.
Take that!
Okay, the real murder weapon.
Take that!
Okay, hold it. Let me load my file. Man, I felt so confident. Broken tip. Was it the edge of the blue badger?
Take that!
Okay. It's not the switchblade knife? Okay, let's load. That's not the right thing. Okay. Is it this? Load. Okay, I'm running out of ideas. Evidence locker, rubber glove.
Take that!
What's the real murder weapon? Try the jar. Do I present the picture? Okay, yes. Okay, I was right. So it was in the picture. The answer lies in the past. 2 years in the past. Right here in the picture. Okay, so I was right. Okay, but I shouldn't have presented the trophy. I should have just presented the picture. This is a picture of the award ceremony. Ah! What is it, Mr. Edgeworth? It's the broken murder weapon. Notice the award Prosecutor Marshall is holding? That's a broken knife. As we earlier concluded, the knife in the drawing was not Joe Dark's knife. That being the case, the knife the witness saw was in all likelihood from this award. Order, order, order! Neil Marshall was awarded the King of Prosecutors that day. As an award, he was given this broken shield and knife. When he chased after Joe Dark, he pulled out this knife. Being a prosecutor, he did not carry a pistol. This broken knife was the only weapon he had in this dangerous situation. But that can't be. Oh, and why not, Mr. Edgeworth? Because if the King's Prosecutor's award knife was the murder weapon, then the murderer and the victim would be reversed. What do you mean? I mean, this man raising a knife would have been Prosecutor Neil Marshall. Oh. Oh. But the prosecutor was the one who actually died. That's true. What's going on here? It seems Mr. Wright has been a bit too eager to jump to conclusions. Wait, I remember now. I remember everything. Witness? Mr. Edgeworth. What is it? Could you show me your evidence list again, please? His list? The one with that picture scribbled on the back. I knew it. This picture. I'm the one who drew it. What? You drew that? That's right. The list wasn't torn in half at the time I drew this picture. All this time I've been trying so hard to forget. I must have locked this part away deep inside me. Perhaps it would be best if we added this to the witness's testimony. Would you please tell us what you recalled, Miss Skye? Yes, Your Honor. First the knife mix-up and now the blue badger? This should be interesting. Witness testimony. Emma's recollection. When I saw that man raise his knife, I panicked and I rushed toward both of them. I think I knocked away the man with the knife. Just then there was another flash of lightning, and that's when I saw the blue badger. He wasn't in the room, but I'm sure I saw his shadow. This is certainly most unusual.
Objection!
Try impossible. The chief of detectives hadn't even designed him until this year. That would mean he didn't even exist 2 years ago. Yes, well, the defense may now begin its cross-examination. Stop, please, don't pursue this any further. Lana! What's the meaning of this? Please remain seated in the defendant's chair. But you can't do this. I've already confessed to the crime. Why can't you just leave it at that? Chief Prosecutor Skye. We've already come to this far. It's too late to turn back. Silence! The defense will now begin its cross-examination. Bailiff, please detain the defendant. It seems we're finally getting to the core of the matter. Cross-examination, Emma's recollection. When I saw that man raise his knife, press. When you say that man, I assume you refer to Joe Dark? Yes, at least I think it was him. You think? All I could really see were shadows. The power outage that immediately preceded the incident is also documented in the prosecutor's office reports. So then you... I panicked and I rushed toward the both of them. Why would you do something so dangerous? What else could I have done? He was about to stab Mr. Marshall. She seems convinced that Dark was the one holding the knife. But we've just theorized. Mr. Marshall was the one holding the knife. Well, I didn't know that at the time. Then that Dark guy knocked me down. All I could think was, I've got to help that other person. I think I knocked away the man with the knife. What do you mean you think? It all happened so fast and I was in shock. I don't remember everything clearly. What I did, it's all kind of a blur. Miss Skye was almost killed. Oh wait. Miss Skye was almost killed before she was a witness to murder about. Was almost killed before she was witness to a murder about to take place. With so much happening in a matter of seconds, a little disorientation is only natural. I saw the man about to stab the other person, who I thought was Mr. Marshall. I knew I had to stop the man with the knife. What you did was very brave, young girl. So then what happened next? Just then there was another flash of lightning, and that's when I saw the blue badger. Okay, my theory for the blue badger is, could it be this vase? Maybe? Here, let's check it. Okay, rotate. Now, I don't suppose there's a point of view where... Is there a point of view where this looks... maybe not. I don't know. I'm gonna press her on this. Because this seems ridiculous. Like crazy. Like, how could she have seen the blue badger? Are you sure about this? Of course. See? I even drew a picture of him here. But it was the chief of detectives who thought up this hideous beast. And that was just this year. The blue badger didn't exist 2 years ago. This is quite verifiable. I know it sounds strange. I was surprised too when I saw him at the police department. I had this nagging feeling I'd seen him before somewhere. Now I finally remember. Oh, brother. Just when you thought you had caused enough... Just when you thought that thing had caused enough of a commotion. Tell us, where in the room did you see him dancing? He wasn't in the room, but I'm sure I saw his shadow. His shadow? So you mean you didn't actually see his face? With his winning smile and all? That's right, but I still remember it. He had 3 creepy horns. This is pointless. Nothing couldn't have been possibly existed 2 years ago. The witness must be mistaken. That well may well be. But what's important is what caused her to think she saw what she did. Oh, and I suppose you have an explanation? If so, then, by what all means, please tell us what the shadow really was. Okay, I'm gonna save at this point. What was it that Emma saw when the lightning flashed? Okay, maybe here, save. Who is this blue badger, really? The blue badger hadn't even been dreamt up when Emma drew this picture. Yet she's certain she saw its shadow. Ladies and gentlemen, it is the defense's belief that on that fateful day, 2 years ago, there indeed was something that looked similar to the blue badger. Something that is now sitting in this very room. Mr. Wright? In this room? Very well, Mr. Wright. What is it that the witness saw in that instant? Please show us this mysterious blue badger look-alike. Okay. Alright, I've already saved. The mysterious blue badger was in fact this. But that's... what What exactly is that? I believe it's some sort of jar. But Mr. Rice, that doesn't look anything like the Blue Badger. Indeed it doesn't. As it stands now, it's just a plain jar. However, what if we were to change our viewpoint? Our viewpoint? Gotta show them the correct angle to look at this from. Oh, rotate. Present like this.
Objection!
Allow me to remind that if can't match the shape the witness drew, we cannot accept this claim. At just the right angle. Okay, so I get unlimited tries on this one.
Take that!
Yeah, there we go. Well, is this a miracle or what? No one can possibly deny this jar's resemblance to the Blue Badger. That is pretty insane. No, it can't be. Order, order. The defense has proven its claim. The mysterious Blue Badger witnessed it on the day of the crime was actually this.
Objection!
Although we all enjoyed Mr. Wright's dramatic performance, one question remains. What's your point? What do you mean? So that badger thing was actually just a jar. It doesn't change anything.
Objection!
I'm afraid that's where you're wrong, Mr. Edgeworth. You see, this changes everything. Indeed. Very well then, please tell us. What's different now that we know the witness saw this jar? In case this is bad... Okay. I'm playing it safe. I'm gonna guess the murderer. Allow me to take these in turn. At the moment of the murder, the witness saw this jar. At a very specific angle, I might add, Mr. Wright. Yes, well, knowing this, where could she have seen this jar? Where? The location of the jar is shown in a picture taken on the day of the crime. It's on a shelf in the office of Damon Gant. But the body was found lying near Lana Sky's desk. The witness testified so herself. Yes, and it is these two facts that reveal what actually transpired. You see, the struggle between Dark and Marshall did not take place in Lana Sky's office. It happened on the other side of the room, in Chief Gant's office. Are you implying the murderer moved the victim's body from Damon Gant's office to Lana Sky's office? Yes. Why would he do that? There's no reason. Exactly. If there wasn't a reason, he wouldn't have gone through the trouble. The only logical conclusion is that there was a reason. Do you know what that reason was, Mr. Wright? I finally figured it out. So this is why Lana tried to stop the trial. It's too late to quit now, though. Please recall the witness's testimony. She said she knocked away the man who was holding up the knife. In the next instant, the jar was hit and flew through the air. Now tell me, what could have sent the jar flying? That would have had to have been the impact the man made when he was knocked into the wall. Ladies and gentlemen, if I may draw your attention to this picture once more. If the man was knocked in the direction of the shelf the jar was sitting on, what would he have hit? Ah! The suit of armor, holding a very sharp and dangerous looking sword. Yes. And since the man who was knocked into the armor was carrying a broken knife, he would have had to have been Neil Marshall, wielding the King of Prosecutors trophy. No, Mr. Wright, you can't be thinking. Yes, there's another possibility of what actually transpired in that room. Another possibility? Of course the perpetrator would have had no idea, but nevertheless... I don't know if I can go through with this. Mr. Wright, what's the matter? If events took place as the defense theorizes, then the outcome is obvious. In that moment, assuming the man Emma Skye knocked away was actually Prosecutor Neil Marshall. Emma accidentally killed him? You mean Mr. Marshall died because of me? No! Thud. I never imagined her testimony would lead to this. So it was the witness who took the victim's life, and then proved so with her own testimony. This is unprecedented. What? What are you saying? I'm sorry, Miss Skye, but given the circumstances, Joe Dark murdered Prosecutor Marshall. How can you think it was Emma? How dare you try to pin the crime on her? Imagine that coming from you. If you recall, it was you who admitted to forging evidence 2 years ago. The reason you moved Prosecutor Marshall's body was to keep anyone else from finding about what Emma did, wasn't it? I assure you, Mr. Edgeworth, you have no idea what you're talking about. If you hope to have anyone believe your insane allegations, I'm afraid you're going to have proof. Tell me, do you have any conclusive evidence that proves my sister killed Neil Marshall? Evidence? I'm willing to bet you don't. Yes, it certainly would be difficult to prove this without evidence. If we don't have evidence, then we'll have to rely on testimony. I'm afraid that won't work in this case. Both parties involved in the incident are dead. We certainly can't get dead people to testify. This has all been a wild goose chase from the beginning. Touche, Miss Skye. Of course. That only leaves us with one possibility. You mean there's still another possibility? What do you mean, Mr. Edgeworth? I mean the possibility that the victim left us a message. For better or for worse, Mr. Marshall did not die instantly. He may have left behind the name of the person who took his life. In one manner or another. That's impossible. Well, Mr. Wright, this is the only possibility left to you. A message from the deceased. Does such a message exist? I've got to think back to the court record. Save. Before I'm asked to pull up evidence, the real murderer's name that the victim may have left behind. This message from the deceased is already in her possession. Mr. Wright, will you stop at nothing to prove my sister a murderer? Do not be mistaken, Miss Skye. Our purpose is not to accuse Emma of any crime. There's only one thing we seek. The truth. No matter how painful it may be. Now then, Mr. Wright, please show us the piece of evidence that conveys the message from the deceased. Let me see if... I'm guessing it's the unstable jar. This is the message left by the deceased. This is that blue badger from before, wasn't it? Oh, is he going to just speak the killer's name? If that thing could, I'm sure it would. Looks like everyone's forgotten this is just a jar. The message was left here, on the surface of this jar. What do you mean? If you look closely, you can see a faint trail of blood on this jar. Looks like someone wiped the blood away. Yes, but notice, for some reason, the blood on some of the fragments was not wiped away. Yes, there is a line there drawn in blood. So what you're saying is these dots were once lines. Prosecutor Marshall did not die instantly. He used the few precious moments left to him to leave behind a message. One that someone apparently wiped away. But blood must have seeped into the jar where lines changed directions. Precisely so. All we need to do is connect these points, and the victim's message will become apparent. No. Mr. Wright, what kind of message did the victim leave for us? Your Honor, I believe the bloodstains will reveal to us the answer. Gotta connect these dots to make letters. There's only one thing the victim would have written, given circumstances. The victim's name. Okay. Okay. So there. There. Okay. To there. There. To there. There to there. There to there. There to there.
Take that!
It's a defense attorney's duty to prove their client's innocence. That's why all I've been thinking about is saving Lana. After all my efforts, I never thought it would turn out like this. One second. Okay, I'm back. Emma. So this is the final message Prosecutor Marshall left behind. Of all people, she may not have meant it. But in the end, the one who took the victim's life was Emma Skye. Seaworthy, can't say I didn't warn you. Chief Gant, do you understand the implications of what you've done? What are you talking about? 2 years ago, Joe Dock was sentenced to death. He was convicted because of his final murder. I believe you were the prosecutor in the case, were you not? Hack. Yes, Worthy. Because of you, an innocent man was sentenced to death. Not only that, but you used forged evidence to ensure his conviction. But Joe Dark really was a serial murderer. That's undeniable. I'm afraid that's not important. Didn't you know we aren't defenders of justice? What? We're merely keepers of the law. Sentencing a man to death is no light matter. Even if there wasn't any cover-up or evidence forgery, ultimately the responsibility falls on the prosecutor in charge. Despite what anyone may say, this fact cannot be denied. What's going on at the prosecutor's office? They might have sent an innocent man to his death. How can he just stand there like it wasn't his fault? Order! 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 The gavel's pounding fell on deaf ears. Unable to settle the crowd, the judge declared a recess. Where this trial is headed, no one knows. To be continued. Bum bum bum. Alright, save right here. Alright, trial ladder. Alrighty, I think this is a good place to wrap up for the night. We'll complete this case. We'll complete this case on the next stream. We're gonna finish the game. Okay, let's exit the game. Awesome. Well, I had a great time playing this with y'all. Thank you guys so much for watching. Had a blast. Hope y'all had fun too. We're gonna finish the game tomorrow, or not tomorrow, but next stream, which should be lots of fun. Or wait, no, that's the break stream. Shoot. There we go. Yeah, I want to thank everybody for watching. Hope you all had a blast. I am going to see... nobody's really live right now, so I'm going to just call it a stream. But yeah, I want to thank you guys so much for watching. Hope you all have a great night. Bye for now.